Thanks for making time. Welcome to Checkpoint. I'm Jesse Rogers. Angel Lois is our sign language interpreter. We begin tonight's broadcast with an editorial piece from here at Standard Group. What happened in Homa Bay today is not politics, but a brazen assault on democracy and freedoms. Journalists covering the Linda Mwananchi convoy were attacked in the line of duty. Standard Group journalists Sami Omingo, Rogers Otiso and Bramwell Bwire were caught up in the violence, sustaining injuries during the melee. Also, MediaMax and AFP journalists and other media crews were openly assaulted and robbed of their equipment. This is completely unacceptable for a supposed functioning democracy like ours. And tonight, the question must be asked of Kenya's security leadership. Where were the security agencies when journalists were being attacked in broad daylight? Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen and the National Police Service cannot continue warning against political goonism while Kenyans are left exposed to armed groups, even attacking journalists and destroying property. Indeed, CS Murkomen himself has repeatedly warned against the use of goons in political activities and has called for political actors to embrace peace. These warnings mean little if perpetrators are allowed to operate with impunity. What happened in Homa Bay County should therefore be a red line. Journalism is not a crime, and this should be made clear. This will not cow us. A good place to begin tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at the latest developments that happened in Homa Bay, where once again violence erupted in Homa Bay County ahead of the much publicized Linda Mwananchi rally in an area regarded as the late Raila Odinga's stronghold, now a hotly contested zone between the broad-based allies and the opposition. Standard Group journalists Sami Omingo and Rogers Otiso were caught up in a confrontation with goons at Kodwogo after stepping out of their vehicle to document the standoff involving the Linda Mwananchi convoy. Otiso sustained injuries while running to a nearby homestead for safety. A MediaMax journalist and an AFP journalist were also roughed up by goons, as Bentura Kwamboka reports in the story. Listen in.
The Linda Mwananchi Brigade made its first entry into Homa Bay County today, the late Raila Odinga's once unshakable yard. But now, a contested broad-based zone. After sweeping the Western Belt, ex-ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna took his campaign to Homa Bay County, determined to cement his grip and expand his base. But the reception here was anything but warm. What began as politics quickly turned into a battle for the streets. Along the route, political tension boiled. At Nyandiwa Shopping Center, armed goons wielding machetes and batons stormed in, sending everyone scampering to safety. On the Homa Bay Rongo Road, the convoy's path was blocked, burning tires, and stones formed a wall, forcing the Linda Mwananchi to detour using the Gwasi route to reach Sindo Market. At Asumbe in Dhiwa, former Bungoma Governor Wycliffe Wangamati's convoy came under attack. Police forced to fire tear gas to disperse goons who were trying to block the motorcade that was under heavy police escort.
Hii ni panga dirisha imekatwa. Hii ni panga dirisha imekatwa. Unaona? Na hii ni dirisha yangu.
Caught in the fracas were AFP journalist Fred Oko and his colleague Brian Ongoro, who were attacked and assaulted by goons who were armed with crude weapons. The goons also stole their camera and driving license. Following the ugly incidents, leaders called on security agencies to exercise their mandate professionally.
Mimi nikiwa hapa nasema iko serikali, Kenya is not a failed state. Ina watu wa serikali watulinde sisi.
The Amnesty International has condemned the attacks meted on journalists and called for the prosecution of political leaders who may have incited violence. Former Attorney General Justin Muturi also condemned the violence, faulting the government for failing to protect its citizens.
Ikuwa naona barabara asubuhi saa moja zote ikuwa imewekwa mawe kubwa boulders. Ile inafanyika pale lazima tuikemee, and we must condemn it in the strongest terms possible.